We're here in Berlin with Philip from P2P University. Okay, so Philip, tell us the essence of the functionality of P2P University. What's its like quickly what the history is and what the present platform is, because I heard there's a lot of evolution going on in the project. If you could basically describe what it is right now, how could an organization like Open Source Ecology get involved using it, creating materials?
Sure, it's a lot of questions. So essentially P2P University is a community of people who are building a new type of university where anyone can participate in building it. And it's underpinned by three values. Openness, so that anyone can participate and that all the materials that we produce, all the source code we produce can be reused by others. Community, so we do everything on a public mailing list. There's a lot of kind of deliberation. People from all over the world are part of the kind of the P2PU feels like a community, and then peer learning, because we believe that learning with other people who are not necessarily exactly at the same level as you, but who consider themselves learners as well, is the best way to learn. So our platform supports, essentially allows anyone to create a course for other people.
Okay, so nuts and bolts of it, how does that work?
Yeah, so there's two models. One is a more traditional model where you're a facilitator and you create the course materials online, and then you can have people sign up for the course, and you can walk them through the weekly readings, and you can kind of set the pace or set the rhythm and support them through the course, and everyone works together. And then there's various variations of that. Some of the courses are more predefined, others are more created as people go through them, so they decide what they want to do as a group. So that's the more traditional course model. And then we introduced, about 6 months ago, we introduced something we call challenges, which are designed to deal with a problem with courses where if a course runs at a particular time with a facilitator and you come 2 weeks too late, then there's nothing for you to do, and you kind of have to wait until it runs again. And so challenges are the idea that you take a course and you redesign the content so that anyone could start learning on their own. But because they're all doing it in the same space, they start forming a community of peer learners around that piece of content. And the content is designed to facilitate review of each other's work, and each challenge has some kind of a making aspect. So in the challenge you have to make something, you have to share it with other people, you have to put it on the web. And there's a kind of a peer review and helping each other ethos to the learning.
What are the quality control means for the course material itself? How do you address that?
So we don't filter so I think there are generally two models, right? You filter what can come into the platform, or you try to surface quality, and we're very strongly on the surface quality aspect. So we try to make it easier for people to, first of all, I think people want to create great courses, right? So I think that's the first kind of, you have to make that switch. So we try to support them, right? So if someone creates a course, we contact them, we say, hey, do you need help? Here's some guidelines, here's some handbooks, look at these other courses.
You've got, how extensive is your guidelines, handbooks, standards for this platform?
Very minimal.
Very minimal?
Because the reality is that people don't read handbooks.
Okay.
Right? So we've created, actually what we've done is for challenges, which is kind of a more unusual model, and people I think need more background on what a challenge is. We've created a challenge that you can work through to create your own challenge. Because we figured that might be a good way, right? Rather than telling you this is what a challenge looks like, well, why don't you do a challenge? And the output at the end is your own challenge, on any topic. So maybe that comes back to your original question, how could we work together? If
we generate instructional materials.
You could work through those that challenge and see how you would frame the content that you're developing. I think there's a difference between a challenge or course and a handbook or a reference material. I think those serve very different purposes. The handbook is when you already have a need to build something and you're self-motivated and you just need to kind of to refer to something if you get stuck. Whereas a course or a challenge is much more helping you understand why this is something you want to do, maybe framing the context. And I think in your context, it would be more interesting to apply the P2PU model to the broader ideas you have around how civilization is changing, rather than just a simple build a tractor.
Okay.
I mean, I think we could try both. It would be interesting. But I suspect that build a tractor would be like the people who would take that challenge.
Be very narrow.
Be very narrow, and I would suspect that the people who want to go through those steps, like they already know why they want to build a tractor. They're already highly motivated, and they don't want to. They want to kind of get there as quickly as they can.
Yeah.
So if you can give them like, here are the 7 steps to building a tractor. Here's the plan. You know, then the tractor is the outcome.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily want them to spend a lot of, or they probably don't want to spend a lot of time thinking about what does it mean to be building your own tractor.
Yeah.
But those are the kind of questions I think that you're interested in, which would lend themselves more
to a more high-level course.
So, yeah.
Yeah, excellent. By the way, there's already a course on open source organizational scaling at P2PU.
Great. I had no idea.
After talking to Claire. Okay, well, Philip, thanks so much. So we'll look forward to see how we can work together.
Great, me too. And thank you.
Thanks.
Cool machine.